What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on the test server here, so thank you Plarium for allowing us access. And in this video, we will be showing you guys the first look at the brand new mythical Kurosa the Covetous. Now, Plarium has already told us that this champion will be part of some kind of boosted event in the future, so she probably will be the first mythical champion to ever have her own kind of boosted event. So maybe people will be more likely to pick her up. I understand that obviously she's a mythical champion, so not everyone will get a chance to pick her up, but she's also the main boss in the event dungeon currently in the test server that will be released on June 5th. So hopefully this showcase will kind of showcase her abilities, what she can actually do, and obviously you will know what to expect from her in the event dungeon. But anyways, guys, we're not going to talk about the event dungeon in this video. It's going to be a Kurosa showcase. So let's quickly go into her kit here real quick. She has a pretty simple kit, but I think it's mostly very, very effective. So we have Kurosa here. She is the third demon spawn mythical champion here. Force affinity, she is a support champion in her base form, and she is a damage dealer in her secondary form. She is attack based. Checking out her base stats here, 110 base speed with 1509 base attack in her base form. Let's go over her kit here real quick. Her A1 is an AoE. It's a team heal, which is really, really nice based on the attack that she currently has. So she doesn't really have any negative effect with stacking attack. Of course, it's going to make her a little bit more squishy because she won't have the HP and defense stats. But hey, at least it's still going towards something. So it's going towards a heal here. Her A2 is a 3-turn cleanse with a increased attack and shield. And the shield would be proportional to her attack. Again, no wasted stats. And this is a very reasonable ability. Her A3 here, she places a taunt on herself and a fortify buff on herself. So fortify is a new buff specific to her and of course her boss mode version in the event dungeon. But fortify basically is giving her right here. So in the info tab here, we have fortify reduces enemy ignore defense effects by 15% or 25%. So that means things like savage gear, lethal gear, merciless gear would just be less effective with this buff being applied. Unfortunately, it only applies it to herself. But yeah, she gives herself taunt, fortify, and then she places unkillable on everybody except for herself. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. Some pretty interesting buffs here. You don't see them very often, obviously. Taunt, fortify, unkillable. Nice little combination there. So her main form is a pretty decent support form. Unfortunately, no turn meter boosting or anything like that, but she does bring shields, healing, plus attack, and a bunch of defensive stats here. Her passive in her base form is pretty strong as well. Passively, she receives 15% less damage for each ally alive. And her active effect, if everyone on her team dies, she instantly transforms into her basically alternate form, and she comes with attack in all battles. And check out her alternate form here. It's quite strong. You guys will realize that when you guys do the event dungeon, her secondary form is quite strong. Her A1 here attacks one enemy 3 times. If this attack kills an enemy, deals pure damage to all other enemies. If the other enemies are not bosses or minions, the amount of pure damage dealt is equal to 30% of the initial target's max HP. So you want to be killing basically a high HP target. If the other enemies or bosses or minions, the pure damage dealt is equal to 10% of the max HP instead. The A2 is very, very powerful. 3-turn cooldown here when fully booked. Attacks all enemies before attacking. Steal all buffs from all enemies. That's very strong. Targets whose attack is lower than this champion's attack, which most of them will be. This effect cannot be resisted. Very strong. Don't need accuracy for this. Also places weaken on the enemies for 2 turns. Targets with attack equal or lower than this champion's attack cannot resist this effect. Very powerful ability on a 3-turn cooldown. And then it has a great setup here with her A3. Her A3 4-turn cooldown places shatter buff on herself with increased crit rate, and then places true fear on all enemies for 1 turn. Targets whose attack is equal to low or lower than this champion's attack, which usually they should be, cannot resist this effect, grants an extra turn. So you basically go into her alternate form, place this. Shatter is a new buff specific to her and her boss form in the event dungeon. And basically it's going to give her increase a champion's ignore defense effect by 7.5 or 15%. So in this case, she would give herself an additional 15% ignore defense. So it's like, almost as good as an instinct set, basically. And then she has increased crit rate as well. So you can definitely build her out with 70% crit rate. I think that might be maybe preferred, because you'll probably only want to deal main damage with her alternate form. She basically always gets this crit rate buff unless it's removed for some reason. But if she gets the first move, she's going to go into her A3 and then right into her A2. So she's going to go buff herself with these two buffs and then True Fear. Unfortunately, the True Fear, it's probably not going to land, right? Because sometimes they have block debuffs on or Stone Skin or something. It would have been nicer if it was like strip and then you can do this A2 ability with the True Fear or whatever. But anyways, she also has a passive here that further boosts her damage, 15% more damage for each dead ally. And also each crit will boost her turn meter by 10% for each dead ally. Big thing is whether she can actually hit. So let's check out the champion build that I have her in, and then we'll take her for a spin. All right, so here is Kurosa here. This is how I put her, how I build her out. I basically gave her the best set I have on my account. I gave her the best gear. I have the 6-star fully blessed version of her, and fully booked, of course. So she is at her maximum potential on my account. I prefer Stone Skin Lethal just because she is likely to be a arena focused champion. Let's check out her base stats here. So we got 254 speed with 372 crit damage in her base form, 8,300 attack. No accuracy is needed in her kit because she has some irresistible conditions which are easily met. Her alternate attack form, she has a bit more crit damage, bit more base attack here as well. Like I said, fully blessed with the 6-star blessing here. This is as good as it can get with my account with this type of gear combination. So keep that all in mind. I do have a Cat's Gaze on her for additional ignore defense. No crazy gems or anything like that. You can kind of just check it out here. Just a little bit more accessible gems for everybody to keep it real. Crushing Ren for the 6-star blessing. You could definitely justify maybe using something else like Reaper, for example, could work for a lower blessing, but at 6 stars, Crushing Ren seems very, very good. And here are her masteries. Did go down the Blade Disciple for extra attack just because we were already crit capped, so you don't need the extra crit rate. And like I said, you can definitely build her out with the 70% crit rate version and go at that. But that risk her getting that buff stripped off, and then you won't have the full crit rate anymore. I think you always go down to Opportunist here because she can place her own fears, which will boost up the damage. And then sometimes, you run her with Armands and stuff like that. So you'll have stuns available and then she'll just do more damage. Shield Breaker, just in case she needs to blow through some shields in the arena. I did go with Harvest Despair because she does place Fear herself. So then she has a chance to place Leech for some extra sustain. Improve parry so that she can take a little bit less damage. And of course, end off with tier 6 Helm Smasher here. I think these are pretty standard. You could go down support tree. She does place some pretty good buffs, so lasting gifts could be pretty good. And then you could go down places like extra healing. She does place shields as well, so you can go down a little bit more of a support tree here. But I kind of like these masteries here on the defense tree. You get some counterattack, you get some turn meter. The turn meter kind of helps in case you need her for the cleanse, for example, or for the taunt and unkillable just to protect your team. And of course, one of the counterattacks are pretty good. Her A1s in both forms are quite strong. So that is the build I have on her. It's a pretty, it's a pretty late game, end game build. If you guys don't have this level of stats, definitely obviously scale her down based on your own account. Obviously scale down your expectations on what she can do for you in terms of overall content. But I think this gear combination is probably the best for her. Stone Skin, very important. And then of course the damage dealing a set like Lethal, Savage, Instinct, anything like that would definitely be good for her. All right, let's test out some of her abilities first in Dragon. Let's see exactly what she can do against some of these waves. We're going to bring her in again with the increased attack and then decreased defense and weaken. Lydia is in a feral set, so we might see some additional damage numbers. But yeah, let's test out her entire kit here. She is a mythical champion, so she'll have more skills. Let's go boost attack. Let's check out her damage here a little bit. We got decreased defense and weaken. So let's check out her A1. All right, A1, attack all enemies, heal value, proportional to this champion's attack. Actually, let's check out her her abilities that don't have Actually, yeah, let's check out our A1. Let's see what they can do. Oh man, the A1 actually killed one of the minions. That's actually pretty strong. Usually that doesn't happen. 1.28 million from her A1 alone. That's pretty strong. I gotta say that's pretty strong. Again, usually that doesn't happen. Let's try that again. Decrease defense and weaken. We do have the Pharaoh. Let's try the A1 again, just for consistency. Oh, this time we killed two of them. Almost killed that Chagar here as well without decreased defense. Damn, that is strong. 1.42 million damage just from the A1 in her support form. Very, very powerful so far. Let's check out the sizing of her shield on the A2. And that's a pretty sizable shield. That looks like a pretty sizable shield there on an A2. That's pretty good. I like it. Looks pretty good so far. Let's try it again. Let's see what her A3 can do this time. Same thing. Let's see what her A3 can do. So this is taunt plus fortify. So fortify will reduce the effectiveness of ignore defense against her and then places unkillable. So let's see what happens here. So she'll do that, place taunt on herself, and then the rest of her team is unkillable. It feels kind of redundant because it's like if you have taunt on yourself, you know, most likely your teammates will survive, so they don't really need unkillable. But of course, like AoE can bypass taunt and all that stuff. So it's kind of like extra insurance, but I guess it's not too bad. It's obviously a good thing to have, but yeah, it maybe would have been better if she had something else instead, but it's still very strong. Okay, so her A1 was doing quite good damage. Let's see what her alt form can do. So first things first, she does have plus attack here. So what would happen is that she would go into her shatter buff. Okay, we are placing fear on everybody, so keep in mind we do have the mastery to boost the damage. You see the shatter buff here. You see the little crystal or rock getting chipped, and then we got the increased crit rate. She gets the extra turn right away, and before attacking, steals all buffs, places the weaken. Let's see if the weaken gets placed first. I'm not too sure if the weaken got placed. That's a pretty big hit. 1.595. It's not as crazy as I thought it would be. Like, it's not as crazy as I thought it would be. I thought the A1 was quite strong, even without the shatter buff there. Let's try that again. Actually, let's try it without decreased defense and weaken so that we can see her place the weaken herself. Let's see if that happens first. All right, let's see if the weaken places. It looks like the weaken places after. The weaken places afterwards. The weaken places afterwards. Now, that's a pretty strong hit, right? Even when they didn't have decreased defense and weaken from Lydia, her A2 still smacked. Let's see if that was a bit of a fluke here. Again, we're not going to use Lydia's decreased defense and weaken. And see what she can do with just plus attack. Plus attack and yeah, let's see what happens here. Oh, she doesn't have plus attack. She doesn't even have plus attack right now because she actually cycled through it with her she cycled through it already with the extra turn. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, without plus attack, basically without anything, without plus attack, without decreased defense, just the shatter buff. And yeah, she does place the weaken afterwards. That does feel not right. Not good. But her damage number is impressive, even though she did not have increased attack. Okay, so after trying to set her up a little bit here, I found a little bit interesting quirk with her kit. It's really hard to get her with increased attack going into this A2 because when she transforms, if she had increased attack before she transformed, if she uses this ability, most likely the extra turn will cycle through the increased attack unless you have a 3-turn increased attack. That means she would go into her A2 without increased attack, so it's not actually like full potential. It's actually a little bit interesting. I'm not too sure how to get around it. I mean, like I said, 3-turn plus attack, or you steal somebody's plus attack from the enemy. Anyways, I did set her up with the plus attack here going into the A2. And she also has a shatter buff going on. What's good about the shatter buff is that it is a 3-turn buff, which is really nice. But let's see what she can do with basically no decreased defense. And we can see if she can wipe out this whole wave. And yeah, it's pretty close. Pretty close to wiping out the whole wave there. With the plus attack. Now, it is a little bit tricky, to be honest, to get the plus attack on her. So I think she probably needs to rely on stealing it. This poses other problems as well. But yeah, let's see how she would play in the arena after this. I want to test her A1 in the alt form just for one hit here. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to transform, place the shatter buff on ourselves. And let's see what our A1 can do. So right now, I don't think we can really kill anyone. I think Chagar might be the weakest one. So let's see if we can kill Chagar. We do, and it does splash a little bit. I mean, it's pretty big splash. That's just an A1. So that's pretty good amount of splash. 1.1 mil there. Not as impressive as her base form. Keep that in mind. All right, so we got it all set up now. We got the shatter buff on. Let's test her A1 on this Chagar and see what kind of damage numbers we see on the other two remaining champions. So A1, 1 time speed, splash. It's about the same. It's about the same, right? Because so just reading over her A2, sorry, her A1 again. The damage is going to be the same all the time, regardless if it's low health or full health. But it's good to have that fully tested there. So the damage was basically the same regardless. It's not a splash damage. It's just an on-kill effect. So that's good to know, good to test and all that. Let's put her in some arena matches and see how well she performs there. All right, so we're going to try to go first or go first type teams, and then we'll try her in go second type teams because I think she can probably play there as well since she does have a support form. But we'll test her out there as well. So right here, we cut in, lock them out, and now it's our turn to go. Let's test out her attacks here, see how strong they actually are in actual combat. So here she does have the plus attack, but she's going to lose the plus attack when she transforms. So unless we want to just use the hit right here, but then we would lose the shatter buff. They don't have block debuffs on, so maybe it might be worthwhile to put the fear on. That could be something too. Let's put the fear on. You put the fear on. Obviously, Ancora is going to steal the fear away from Narcisse. And then we have the A2 here. So this is going to be the buff steal. No plus attack. Can we steal anybody's plus attack here? Nope. Narcisse has the plus attack, but it's protected. But then we can steal the rest. All right, let's slow it down for the cameras. Irresistible steal. And yeah, we actually just deleted the whole team, even through shields and all that. So it does hit. It does hit pretty good. It does hit pretty good. Even without plus attack, she can hit pretty good. I mean, she just wiped out that whole team there. Let's try another team. All right, let's play a more go second type team here. And yeah, we'll get hit and get locked out and see how well we perform. So here we're running Duchess for revive. We have the cleanse with Kurosa here. And of course, she's a mythical, so she doesn't get affected that much by the lockout. And then we have Wukong here, which basically, you know, can keep coming back, which is really, really nice. So her A1 is actually pretty strong. Even when locked out, she can perform a heal. But in this case, I think we will transform, see what we can do. So here we got the shatter and then the fear. Let's see how it works. And everybody's fear is irresistible. Very, very nice. Let's place the attack. She should be stealing. Let's see if it steals the stone skin. And oh my goodness, she does steal a stone skin and she just deletes everyone. I mean, even Freya protected Wukong from dying. Otherwise, everyone would have been dead. Okay, man, that's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. Let's try another team here. Maybe somebody a little bit stronger. All right, let's try Farbstav's team here. So he has a proper speed team. We're going to be fully locked out and get hit by Marius. Let's see what we can do here. UDK is pretty decent against the Odin, so it protects us from his big A3 slam. We are properly locked out. Marius slamming us. We got the CC from Odin. This looks like it's rough times now. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen here. Nope, we don't survive. So the crazy thing is, if we survived, let's try that again. If we survived, we would have been able to transform. Then Marius probably gets us. That's the thing. Marius is still a very good counter to, obviously, Mythicals. Let's see. No, he's going to get us here again. Maybe not. Let's see if we can do it. Well, Haunt, Fortify, Unkillable. That would be interesting. Plus attack with the cleanse. Plus attack with the cleanse. Plus attack with the cleanse versus Unkillable. Taunt, Fortify. Let's try. Let's try some of her support. There we go. All right, maybe we can recover. Nope. Marius too strong. Marius too strong. All right, let's try that same team again. Let's go up against Hades' team. We're going to go second. We're going to get locked out, and we're going to get burned on. Let's see how well we can perform here. So the burn's going to chip away at our stone skin. Looks like our stone skin's all gone. And we're locked out again by the Lazurius on kill effect. But the power of a mythical champion, second form. Let's see what happens here. So if we place, this is not really going to do much. It's just going to buff ourselves up. I mean, yeah, it's still good. Still better than nothing. Maybe if we have plus attack, we would consider not using Shatter. That's also a consideration. But we definitely want the Shatter. And then let's go right into the A2. Something happened. Why did our A2 not happen? That's a little bit weird. Not sure what happened. We lost a turn there. Not sure what happened. Let's try that again. Feel like if we got a smack in, we could take down this team. So we're locked out. So we can transform. Go into our extra turn with the Shatter buff. Oh, now we're feared. How did we get feared? Oh, there we go. There we go. Just a big slam, and then they're all dead. Okay, I mean, I'm not too sure how we got feared after placing. Oh, we must have got wanded. That's what must have happened. So that's also something to consider. If you're using the A3, you could get fear placed back on you. But I think the shattered buff is just too good to like basically ignore. Let's try this one. Let's try this team here. It's kind of similar to Hades' team. This is Ian's team. But again, we're going up against the Gizmat, the Lockout. Okay, we're going to get double slammed here by the Narcies against the Shields, I think. Okay. Can we get a turn before the Narcies? We do. We transform. Shatter buff. Okay. Do we get increased cooldown? We had our stuff increase cooldown, and then we lost our A2. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. And the A1 doesn't do anything. The A1 was smacking, though. Look, it just chunked off that Gizmat quite a lot. Okay, let's see if we can recover from this. I don't know. Maybe not. All right, here we go. Can we do it? We have the fear on and everything. Nope. We have the fear on. So nasty. So we got feared, and then we got A1 locked out. So a little bit unlucky there, in my opinion. But yeah, let's try again. I think we had a chance to one-shot him if she got a turn. So I think Stone Skin is still 100% needed. But I don't know. Pinpoint's looking pretty good. A1's pretty strong there with the counterattack. Maybe taking the double counterattacks is better than taking counterattack plus turn meter. That could be a thing. So we transform, shatter. Now A2 time. Oh, look at all the stuff we stole, guys. Dude, the A2 is massive. The A2 is so massive because it's an irresistible steal and it hits super hard. But there's obvious things wrong with her kit that just doesn't make that much sense. Because when she's gonna have a hard time getting plus attack from her own team. So she would likely need to steal it from the enemy team. Let's see what she does here. I want to see if she steals it. She should steal it first and then attack. So I think that's what it says in the description of her skills. Let's try again. So let's see here. A2, before attacking, steal. Okay, so before attacking, steal. So she has a chance to steal plus attack, but she's going to be stealing like this crit damage buff as well from them. Okay, so she places shatter. When she places the fear, it potentially can mess things up because of wand. So if she gets wanded, that means the fear is going to land back on her, and that's going to mess up her A2. So if you're trying to set her up with the shatter buff, she potentially could ruin everything for herself if she gets wanded. Okay, so let's try that A2 again. Steal stuff. Yeah, that's really strong. She stole the pinpoint buff. Yeah, it's really, really strong. Pinpoint buff, unkillable buff, crit damage buff. She took it all. She didn't take the stone skin here. She probably lost to 50-50 on the strip. But yeah, really, really liking that A2. That A2 is super strong. Like, we know it's super strong. It's just getting there is the hard part. Let's try her out against this Harima team. And right now we're still rocking this go second. Like, Duchess is kind of here for like no reason. She's kind of here for no reason. Like, she hasn't really done much. But yeah, it's just, Kurosa. It's just Kurosa doing everything right now. Just pure showcase her getting nuked, getting locked out. Is she viable as a go second? If she gets a turn. I mean, you could say that lots of different champions can be viable as a go second as long as they, can survive to transform. Like, get a turn to transform. You can say a lot of different mythicals are viable, right? Okay, so let's pick up the shatter again. And now let's go into A2 steal. Yeah, I mean, she stole everything except for the stone skin. And for some reason, the veil on this Harima still was remaining. That's strange. Harima. You know what? Was it a weak hit? I have to see that again. Let me just double check her skill kit again. I think she can do it without consideration for weak hits. But Harima has the passive against demons. Just trying to figure out if that has anything to do with the steal ability. But I don't think so. Let's just double check here real quick. Let's just check here. She is fun. She's fun to play with for sure. Now she has the plus attack on. Hard to get a turn in now after can't wipe out the team. Hard to get a turn in now. She does have affinity issues sometimes too. Could be a little bit of a problem. Okay, well, let's try to finish off this fight here. Let's see what we can do. I want to target Harima again. Yeah, Harima's got the permanent provoke on her. Yeah, and then the weak hits. Harima very strong against her, so obvious weakness there. All right, I don't think we're actually going to win that one because of the Harima passive. That's all good, all good. Let's come here. Let's try this. All right, let's see how this team can do against this really, really strong team here. Again, we're going to go second. Stone Skin protected us, luckily. And it's our turn now. So we could, what do we want to do here? Increase attack? Sure, let's do increase attack. Cleanse. I kind of want to set ourselves up to do some stealing here. That would be kind of fun. I don't want the Wukong to do any stealing. I want her to do all the stealing. So let's see what we can do. Okay, we don't need to revive. Okay, we need to transform. Okay, let's transform. And okay, let's do the stealing now. Okay. Okay, Shatter's on. 1-time speed. Steal everything. Oh! Interesting. Wow. I mean, yeah, that's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. I mean, she is attack-based damage dealer versus Taras. So, you know, in a long fight, Taras' passive will kick in to make her weaker, but single target nuke, we just nuke down that Marichka. Maybe it's not properly geared, I don't know. 415,000? Maybe not the strongest Marichka, but still one-shot her. I don't think we can fight against Marius. Marius is just too strong, obviously, against the Mythical. Let's do, yeah, Marius again. Let's do one more fight against the speed team here. So one more against this go second with this go second type team. Basically just allowing her to get nuked or locked out or both, and then seeing what she can do with just her single AoE hit. Okay, so we're locked out. Okay, Omega feared. Got block revived. That sucks. All right, now it's our turn to do something. All right, we can place fears. Fears are good. So we got the fear here. 1-time speed. Pretty sure we're going to kill everybody here. Nope. E-Man survived. That's interesting. But yeah, we basically just wiped them all out with our attack in our mythical form. I mean, like I said, guys, any strong damage dealing mythical champion with Stone Skin, if they can survive the first barrage, even if they have a lockout, you know, and if they're strong enough, they can just nuke down the team. And she can do that. She's strong enough to nuke down entire teams just with her secondary form and her big AoE attack. But it's kind of obvious where the problems lie in her kit. It's not super cohesive, right? Like she doesn't get full value. Like the true fear applying here is very not good. Like you much rather have the strip here and then the extra turn and then sets it up into here. And then she doesn't place the weaken first. She places the weaken afterwards, which doesn't help her do more damage, right? So that doesn't make sense. The extra turn here burns through any kind of plus attack buff that she would get before transforming. So for example, if you had Arbiter, if you had her set up with the plus attack, and then you wanted her to be your damage dealer, she needs to transform and then go into her A3, which takes an extra turn, which burns through the plus attack buff. So I would say overall, her damage is still pretty good, even though she is very clunky to set up. Definitely viable as a, you know, your damage dealer. And she has additional versatility in her base form, just being a solid support champion that can kind of hit hard. Like her A1 kind of hits hard, like definitely hits hard for a support champion. Her A2 provides a pretty good shield. It is based on attack and it is a cleanse plus attack. But her plus attack, if you use it in this form, her plus attack, and then you transform, she can't really utilize that plus attack unless you just go into the A2. And in that case, you won't be able to utilize increased crit rate or shatter. So with that being said, both forms are good, but they don't work well together. I'll say that right now. They don't work well together. So unfortunately, I did have fun playing with her. The steal ability on the A2 and the alt form hits hard, and the steal ability is very strong because it's irresistible. For the most part, it's irresistible because not many champions will have more attack than her. It's very powerful. But getting her set up to deal maximum damage is very difficult. And when she places her A3, she has a chance to basically mess it all up with a single wand. Similar to how Marius can mess it all up if he gets stunned himself when he tries to set himself up with a plus defense. But hey, I guess that's just part of the thing. Her A1 is fine. This one is not particularly insanely powerful or anything like that. The damage is capped here. It's not like Wukong's spread damage, so it is kind of capped, but it's an on-kill condition. And, maybe she does kind of pair well with Wukong because her passive does give her additional damage for each dead ally. And if Wukong's dead all the time, then maybe she does get the additional damage boost here. But what I think really kind of holds back her base form is probably the lack of revive. If she had a single target revive like Elva or something, that would be pretty solid. And then obviously like in her attacking form, if she had, plus attack here as well, that would be pretty nice. If she had plus attack and then instead of True Fear, it was a strip, and then put the True Fear here, like afterwards, like make it so that she steals everything and then she attacks, and then anybody that's left, just give them fear. Like that would be pretty good. Like that makes sense to me, like how that could be a good skill. Any enemy that you didn't kill now is feared. That's pretty good, right? But the way it is set up, it's not, it's not super, super great. Anyways, guys, that's going to be my showcase on Kurosa the Covetous here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it showed you guys some things that you guys did not know. Like I said, she is the main boss in the event dungeon. She's an absolute pain in the event dungeon, which kind of prompted me to showcase her in a more practical sense in real life scenarios. We can kind of see here just the way I played her through that her kit is not the most cohesive and it's definitely very, very clunky. So I think as a mythical, if you guys pick her up, I think she is probably average. She has obviously some utility for progressing players. She would be a great champion for a lot of players as they're moving up through the game, but in an end game level, she probably doesn't have too much of a role. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys have any tips on the event dungeon on how to beat Kurosa, that would be really helpful as well. Let me know in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the showcase, please make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. And that's going to be it for the video. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Thank you guys so much, and see you guys in the next one.